everyone. In this video, we will read and understand class 9th poem, The Road Not Taken by renowned poet Robert Frost. In life, we have to take many decisions. We have to make a choice out of the different choices available to us in different phases of our life. We are because of the choices we made, or our future depends on the choices that we make today. But have you ever thought about the choices that we do not make or that we did not make? Have you ever thought of the road that we did not walk on? The poet Robert Frost also had many dilemmas in his life. Perhaps this inspired him to write the present poem, The Road Not Taken. Let's read and understand the poem. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Diverged means separated or took a different direction. Yellow wood represents a forest with decomposing leaves. In autumn, the leaves turn yellow and they start falling. They decompose. It also represents autumn season. And sorry, I could not travel both, and be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Undergrowth means a dense growth of plants and bushes. The poet says that in his life, he came to a junction where the road divided into two. The road ahead of him divided into two different roads, and they both went into deep, dark, dense forest. And since he was only one person, he could not travel both the roads. So he stood there thinking. He looked at one of the road, and as far as his eye could see, he looked at the road and he saw that the road was going towards a dense forest, a dense growth of it was mingling in a dense growth of plants and bushes. Here it also represents the choice of life. The poet in his life came to a point where there were different choices in front of him, and he could not accept all the choices. He had to make one choice. So he stood there contemplating, thinking about the best decision that would be beneficial for him in the future ahead. In this stanza, let's see the literary devices or poetic devices first. First, we'll talk about rhyme scheme. We can see that the words would, stood and could rhyme with each other, and the words both and undergrowth, they rhyme. So the rhyming scheme of this stanza is A, B, A, A, B. And this rhyming scheme is maintained throughout the poem. Now, figure of speech. First figure of speech is anaphora. What is anaphora? If you see these three lines, all of them are starting with and. So anaphora is the figure of speech when two or more consecutive lines begin with the same word. So we have anaphora here because all three lines are starting with and. Next figure of speech is metaphor. Metaphor is comparison of two different things for same quality. So there is metaphor throughout the poem. A road is a metaphor of life. Diversion on road is metaphor of choices in life, and yellow wood is the complicated journey of life. So there is metaphor in the poem. Moving on to the next stanza. So the poet stood there looking at the road, looking at one of the road as far as he could. Then took the other just as fair. Just as fair means as good as the other one, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Better claim means was a better option. Because it was grassy and wanted wear. Wanted wear means was not much used. Though as for that, the passing there means walking through the road, had worn them really about the same. Worn them means used the roads. Now the poet stood there looking at the road, and then he took the other road. He did not take the road that he looked at. He took the other road, which was just as good as the one that he was looking at. And that means both the roads were good. And but this road, as per poet, was a better option. So he took that road because it was looking green. It had grass on it, and it wanted wear. That means it wanted to be walked on. Somebody needed to walk on that road, explore that road. Though as for that, the passing there. Though when he walked on the road, he realized had warned them really about the same, that this road was also used the same way the other road was used. It was not that the road was unused, but it was also same as the other road. That means both the roads were similar. Now, coming to figure of speech, there is personification in the line because it was grassy and wanted where. Personification is a figure of speech where human quality are given to non-living things or animals. Now, road cannot want something. So, the quality of wanted to be used is given to the road. So, there is personification in this line because it was grassy and wanted where. Second figure of speech is alliteration. Alliteration is the occurrence of consonant sound in the beginning of closely connected words. So in wanted where sound is there, were sound is repeated, so there is alliteration. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. That means have not turned black due to walking. Now that morning both the roads, they were equal. On the leaves, the leaves had not turned black. That means not many people had walked on the road to turn them black. They were not that used. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. So the poet says that he kept the first road that he was looking at for another day and he took the other road. He thought that he would come back on the first road some other day, although he knew that once you walk on a road, there is no coming back because one way leads to the other. This happens in our life also when we make some choice and when we walk on that choice, there is no coming back because one choice leads to another choice. Suppose I'll give you an example. Suppose when you grow up, when you do your 12th class, you decide to take medical as your subject or engineering, anything, and you go ahead in that. You read some years in the medical course, then you cannot come back. You cannot give up and start taking other course. It would be a very difficult and tough task. You will have to start everything all over again. So it is not possible. So once you do medical, then again you will have choices whether you want to be a surgeon, whether you want to be a pediatrician or orthopedic or eye doctor or any other doctor. So one choice lead to another choice and it keeps happening throughout your life and there is no coming back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. A sigh means with a long deep breath as if yearning. So the poet finally made a choice, and after years of making choice, he would be telling about his choice to other people, to the people around him, the choices that he made. He will say it with a sigh. That means with a deep breath, thinking or yearning about the past. If he had made a happy choice, he will say it with happiness. If he had made a bad choice, maybe he will say it with some sadness. That somewhere ages and ages back, there were two roads that were diverging in a wood, and he took the road less traveled. And that has made all the difference in his life. He took the path that was less traveled, which as per him was less traveled, and that made him the person he is today. So we are all because of the choices we make in our life. In this stanza, there is repetition in the line, ages and ages. So word ages is repeated. And there is symbolism in the whole poem. Symbolism is the practice of using an object or word to represent an idea. So here, road represents the symbol of journey of life, which goes on. So a road is never ending. It goes on and on and on. And similarly, our life also goes on. So when you think that an end has come to the road, then the diversion happens. You have to make a choice. So in this way, life also goes on. And you have to make a choice. So it depends on you. What choice do you want to make? So we always think better for us. We always want to make a better choice. But sometimes we might repent on our choices if we don't make it a better one. Right? So this was about the poem, students. I hope you liked it and understood it. If you have any doubt, do comment.